Hi, it's Jules here from Tapping with Jules, and I'm just here today to introduce one of my recent people who are certified in EFT, and this is Renai Cravigan. Hello, Renai.
Hey Jules, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining me in this. So I like to for people just to find out who my mentees are, because I think people kind of wonder, oh, what sort of person becomes an EFT practitioner? What were they doing before? What does it help them with? So Renai, perhaps if you could tell us a bit about how and when you discovered EFT. Can you remember when you first sort of came across it?
Yeah, so I saw you do a presentation at the Mental Health Professional Network meeting.
Oh, what?
With yeah, that was I don't know,
Years ago.
long years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there and just thinking, wow, you had a young person, a young girl who talked
Yeah.
about how EFT had helped her
Yeah. That was
through her.
powerful, wasn't it?
It was amazing. It was amazing to sit there and watch her, and the growth in that young woman in
Yeah.
a short period of time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that really just stuck with me. And, years later, you know, I just kept getting into contact with you. I think like it was one thing
Yeah.
after another about young people, and yeah, and it
Yeah,
was
that's right.
just drawn to it.
Yeah. Um, Really good. And so what made you decide to sort of go through the process to become a practitioner? Because it's a pretty involved, it's a pretty big commitment, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, I was working with young people from out of home care. So they've been in the foster
Mm.
care system for years and years. And I work with them, in the aftercare arena. So they're sort of
Yeah.
16 up to 25 I was working with. And I'm noticing that trauma is affecting everything in their life,
Yeah.
holding down a job, holding down just even a house,
Yeah.
paying everything was trauma, every
Yeah.
relationship they were in.
Yeah.
And yeah, and only 31% of young women and 13% of young men will actually go and get professional help for mental health. And I thought that's ridiculous. Like these are kids that
Yeah.
have pushed to see psychologists from the young ages in care. Um,
Yeah.
and I was dealing with them later in life, and their
Yeah.
idea of a psychologist was devastating. They just couldn't see
Oh,
another
they're off
one.
it, were they? Like they're just,
Completely
so
off
they've
it.
been sort of forced to see mental health professionals, did you say? Like
Yeah, yeah, they're
from a
forced
young
to see them.
age?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is just, and they're what they were telling me is that I'm not going to somebody new to start my story all over again.
Yes.
I've told it so many times. So all they were
Yeah.
doing is getting re-triggered with every new
Um,
professional in their life,
yeah.
and they couldn't see um, how it was ever going to help them.
No.
Um, yeah, so this for me, I think I sent a few young people to see you, and I
Mm.
could see the changes in these young people. And I
Mm.
had one young person come back to me saying, I love that I don't have to go into my trauma.
Yes.
She and she went from, having quite big mental health issues
Yeah.
to being amazing. She's an amazing young person now.
Yeah.
And being able to cope with things, and she uses EFT still to this day.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so to
Oh,
me, I know. So to
yeah.
me, I just was like, well, I've got to do this. I've got to give these young people another option, even if
Yeah.
I can only use it as a calming technique for them when I'm working with them to
Yeah.
go into court with them or
Yeah.
into another meeting that they don't want to attend, or
Yeah.
um, it was something that I was, yeah, very, very
Yeah.
excited by to have another tool in
Yeah.
my belt.
And that's right, because you're the person they're engaged with,
Yes,
like, so it's, if you can actually be the one to do some work with them, like you say, even if it's just helping them regulate to do something else that they don't want to do. Like I used to do it, to take kids to court and stuff as well, and women, because yeah, like there's just no better way of helping people, really, is there?
Yes, yeah. I mean, being in a courtroom and you're only the supportive person is,
Yeah.
quite stressful and dysregulating for anybody, let alone
Yeah.
the young person that's been there many a times through many a situations and had so
Yeah.
much trauma. So if we can
Yeah.
just use it as a regulation tool for those guys,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, really good. And how have you found the process, Renee, of actually going through certification?
Yeah, I've loved it. I've loved the
Yeah.
certification. I loved um working with lots of different people to get
Yeah.
my hours up,
Yeah.
and with all different, things. So I wasn't just working with young people. I was working with lots. Well, I actually didn't do any work with young people. I did it with um, mostly women that
Yeah.
had issues in lots of different areas. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt, yeah, that I could see just in just the short period of time that I was doing these sessions with women, I could see the changes in them already. And
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
and it was beautiful. And I think
Yes.
also because we have to do so much work on ourselves,
Yes.
I felt I felt a lot burnt out from my role. My job was
Yes.
is a very taxing job. So it was a benefit to me as well, just
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
re-regulate again and get back into a healthy zone. So
Yeah.
if you can feel that and you can see what's happening to yourself, plus the clients that you're working with,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that was amazing. That's what I really loved about it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I've never done any training that is as beneficial to me personally
Mm,
in every
mhm.
aspect of my life as EFT. You know what I mean? Like everything else just pales in comparison in terms of, yeah, so you're still in a stressful job and you can use EFT to
Yeah.
help you with a stressful job,
And I
like,
do on a daily
yeah,
basis.
yeah, that's
On a
right.
daily basis. And my co-workers think it's hilarious because I'll be sitting at my desk on the phone doing
Yeah,
these ones and
yeah,
they'll be like, were you tapping through that conversation? I was like, yeah, I
yeah,
wouldn't have made it through that conversation otherwise. So
yeah. Because
yeah.
it helps with burnout. It prevents vicarious trauma. You're basically protecting yourself in your own. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
really good. And what would you say? Were there any particular challenges for you in the process of becoming certified? I mean, there's lots really, aren't there? But any that you want to mention?
I think the challenges for me were I hate case notes. It's my
Yeah,
biggest bugbear with work, and I guess that was my challenge is putting it all in writing.
yeah,
Um, but it was also at the end of it when you look back, it was great learning because if you didn't put it in writing, you wouldn't
yeah,
have got those benefits out of it. Like you wouldn't have looked over what you needed to change, how you could have done things differently.
yeah,
So that was a necessity.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I guess. And I think the other thing that I guess it brought up in me is that belief in myself. I felt like I just doubted myself, something new.
yeah,
I wasn't a professional at it. So that whole,
yeah.
but to work through that as well was great. So,
Amazing. Because it
mm,
helps you move forward in other areas of your life, doesn't it? When you can
yeah, yeah,
work on it as it comes up through the process of becoming certified. There's that generalization effect to, I've dealt with these limiting beliefs in this area of my life, and now I don't have to deal with them so much in these other areas of my life as well.
yeah. And it's
Yeah,
just an acceptance of growth.
yeah,
It's all new learning and we're just going to keep growing. So,
yeah,
and to have done other training since this, and adding new tools to my belt for younger teenagers,
yes,
is that was great as well because it's
yeah,
opened up a whole new um, world of new training that I can and different things that I can do with young people. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I'm
Awesome.
having those opportunities to share that with my young people now. So
So good. So good.
mm.
Um, and any particular things you'd say that you have enjoyed about the program kind of as I run it, I suppose?
um I have really loved connecting with other people in this program. It's kind of been a real, meeting new people that are interested in the same thing as you. And I guess for me, you've kept those groups running, and even though I was
Yeah.
finished, it allowed me to be a part of it still, so
Yeah.
I could still connect with those people.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the feedback.
Yeah.
If you don't accept feedback, get you don't get better at
Yeah.
what you're doing. So just having that feedback and go, oh yeah, I can see that I need to,
Yeah.
make changes in this area.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
good.
and the ongoing support from you, Jules, has been amazing. So I've really enjoyed that. You could get to the end of your training and just fizzle out, but
Mm.
quite easily. But I think
Yeah.
it's kept pushing me to be a part
Yeah.
of our group.
Yeah. Good.
Mm.
Oh, I want to see you all succeed. Um, and can you just say something, Renee, about your niche or like particular groups that you want to work with, or are working with now? So just tell us about what's your sort of day job?
So my day job is I work with young adults, I guess,
Yeah.
16 to 21 at the moment,
Yeah.
who are in foster care.
Yeah.
So I'm a youth development coach. So I work on assisting these young people with goal setting,
Yeah.
and we're trained in advantage thinking, and advantage thinking is pulling the positives out of their lives and turning them
Yeah.
into their skills and how they can
Okay.
grow with these goals. And I love that.
Yeah.
My passion is mental health.
Yeah.
There's such a huge mental health. Um, our youth have huge mental health problems,
Oh,
and
of course.
it's
Yeah.
growing. So that's where I really want to concentrate, and working
Yeah.
with parents.
Yes.
I think as a parent, and as a youth worker,
Yeah.
if you're not working on your own, you can't fully be available for your own
Yeah.
children. So to
Yeah.
work with parents that are struggling, I've supported a few parents outside my role who have
Yeah.
been in contact with me, just supporting them around their children going through quite intense mental health issues with
Yeah.
self-harming and suicidal tendencies.
Yeah.
So that's my passion, I guess, working in mental health
Yeah.
for young people and their parents and carers, and even support people, teachers that are
Yeah.
supporting young people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
if we can,
Huge area of need, isn't it?
huge area of that. And
And
I've, yeah,
a place that EFT is, again, to me, the best thing because it's empowering. You can teach parents to do it themselves. You can teach kids to do it themselves. And
yeah.
yeah.
And I've been really lucky to have the opportunity to work with young adults, year 10 students mostly
Yeah.
in the Lismore area. I was
Yeah.
invited up by a program to run a mental health program that I wrote just on
Oh,
self-regulation. And
wow.
I guess that for me was wonderful. I had such a good response teaching young people how to
Yeah.
do tapping just to self-regulate.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that's been absolutely amazing and such a blessing to see. Um, you've got 46 students doing this who
Wow.
in the same room. And I was like,
Wow.
wow, how I just thought that they would laugh at me, but it was taken so well. And teachers coming up to me saying, oh, we need to teach this in the school. And yes, we do. We need to teach
Yeah.
our young people to
Yeah.
self-regulate, let alone, adults. There's a lot of
And our
adults
teachers. Yeah.
and our teachers. I
Yeah.
couldn't do their job. I am
No.
in awe of teachers, but unless they're self-regulating, it's just that
Too
their class
stressful.
is going to be crazy.
Yeah. 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 Really good. And so, can you just tell us a little bit about your website, how people can find you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, so I've just got my website up and running. So it's taptofreedom.com.au,
Mm-hmm.
and you can contact me through that.
Yep.
And I am promoting on there my program as well that I've written, and
Yeah.
EFT one-on-one sessions. Plus, I'm also going to try and do some youth mentoring for youth that don't get the opportunity to have it paid for them.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a few different areas on my website that I'm a little bit passionate about.
A little bit, a lot. And thank you, Renai. And what I would say about you is like you've just impressed me so much from the beginning with your commitment to young people, and you know, doing your own work, working on your own stuff. You know, like it's. I just think that the people that make the best EFT practitioners are the ones that will do their own work.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I just think that you're amazing. Like having read all of your session notes and seen your videos, you're so good at just holding space for people and just being non-judgmental and, you know, making people feel so comfortable. Yeah, and I just think the world needs more, you know, people that really are committed to helping young people. It's not, and especially the group that you work with, you know what I mean? They're not the easiest, not the easiest group to work with. I mean, if that's your bag, then, you know, good. But even for people who that's really what they want to do, it's just a difficult area to work in just because of the system. You know, like I couldn't deal with the system stuff anymore. You know, the child protection, the legal system, the health system, the mental health system. It's one thing to be good at working with the kids, but to be able to cope with all the systems abuse and actually see the kids and what they have to sort of go through is really challenging. You know, like so I really admire your tenacity for hanging in there. And you know, your drive to sort of get it where it needs to be, which is in school. And you know, you've done some work with the justice, you know, with youth justice. And yeah, I just think you really have that the passion and drive that's needed. But we have to look after ourselves in the process too, don't we? Or it's easy to become burnt out. So that your colleagues can laugh at you tapping while you're on the phone, but I think it's essential. You know, they should all be doing it basically.
Yeah. I have told them that, but anyway, we'll work on that one still. But yeah,
that's right.
And look, at the end of the day, look, the young people that I work with, my only hope for them is that they can be self-regulated adults who can, you know, and they have these tools at a young age to know that, okay, I'm not coping right now. What do I need to do to look after me to get through the next bit? So if I can teach them, I'd love to teach, you know, when they're really little, you know, so they've got this as they grow older. But you know, if I can teach my teenagers, then where it would start. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Fabulous. All right. Well, thank you, Renai. And I think that you're amazing, and I think that you're going to offer so many great things to the world, and you're just the right person to do it. So I'm very proud of you and to introduce you as a newly certified practitioner.
Thanks.
So good luck with it all. We'll see more of you, no doubt.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. See ya.